Hey everybody, and welcome to SED 270. I'm going to do a quick tutorial to help you get started on your key assessment document that is due in Module 2 for everything that you need to know about the key assessment. And the key assessment will be uploaded into TaskStream. You are required to purchase a subscription. And if you purchase a subscription for this year or this semester for another class, you can use that same subscription to any class that has a key assessment. So we've got some basic information about the key assessment, multiple links, and then you'll notice that there are several check-ins. Each time a check-in is due, you'll also find the assignment spot in that module. So for example, once we hit Module 5, you'll be doing your first check-in there. This assignment is built throughout the semester, so we're going to do it in tiny pieces, and by the time we're done, it's going to be this really giant project. But as long as you keep up with me and do it piece by piece, as I ask you to develop parts, then you will be in a good spot. So if you look at these links, there is a link that tells you about the assignment and also walks you through some of the key parts of the assignment. This is called the instrument use document, and you'll notice up here we've got lots of names strung together. So EDF 204, SED 270, and Music 384 are all required to complete this technology project, and it is aligned to multiple standards and you are welcome to check out. The information about the project is included here and tells you all of the parts in a list form that you will be completing in this key assessment. And then it also gives you the criterion for success. Basically, in a nutshell, you are required to complete this assignment and earn, if you notice in the bold, at least 3 rows in the developing column and emerging in all other rows in order to successfully complete this assignment. If you don't earn the required score or don't earn it on a redo, and you've got a redo that you can do as long as it's done within the time of the course running. It has to be completed before the exam window. Then you are eligible to earn a passing grade in a class. If you don't complete it with the passing criterion, then no matter what your grade in the class, whatever letter grade you have earned, you will earn an F in the class because the key assessment must be completed with a passing score. The rubric requirements are listed down here, and in purple you'll see the highest you could possibly score. So in indicator 2.2, the highest you could possibly score is a developing. The reason you can't score a competent or exemplary is these higher rows often require you to be working with students or be observed in a classroom, and that isn't part of what we're doing in this class. The overall rubric that's been developed is to take us and show us the portrait of a student all the way from the beginning of your program in through student teaching, and so we're expecting to see growth across rubric rows. So we've taken that master rubric and just chosen a few rows that apply to EDF 204, and so those rows are the ones you will see. We'll be going through this rubric in much greater detail in class, but I just wanted to make you aware that it is there and accessible for you. So we found that at the first tab. The second tab has what we call an exemplar, or basically a guide for your key assessment. And clicking on this link is the same link as the one in the assignment. I did post for you a video that I found on YouTube that talks you through how to create a table of contents. If you maintain the format that I've got in the exemplar, it already has a table of contents built in, but if for any reason your format gets messed up by something that you've done, you can go back and watch this video and it will tell you the steps for how to put a table of contents in. So I'm going to go back up and go to Module 2 specifically because that's where we're working. And when you click on Module 2, we've got some great content that deals with assistive technology, netiquette, and cyberbullying. You'll remember that all the advanced organizers, you're not turning those in each week, but all of the questions for the quiz that you will be taking each week, 4 points, come from the advanced organizer. So you'll want to make sure that you open that up at the beginning of every module and that you very carefully review the content. Now, if you open up this section and say, okay, the first section is on cyberbullying. Well, I've already reviewed Netiquette, I've been to ISTE, and I know all about this. Then you might just want to open up one or two links just to make sure, thumbs up, I've got that. And then you don't have to read everything. If this is new learning for you, then you will want to open and pursue every resource that's available. But you're just trying to get to mastery of that topic, understanding cyberbullying. If you want to download this so you can work on it yourself, remember to go up to File and either make a copy to your Google Drive or download as a Word document, and then you can type in it. I'd highly recommend that you go ahead and type at least short answers in that you can use later. As you're scrolling through, anytime you see something about the key assessment, and for example, the ethical use statement, we're telling you you're going to need that later for your key assessment, I would definitely type out your answer for that so you've got an idea. When you're making your own ethical use statement, you're going to use your learning from up above. And so, if I, from my learning up above, felt like the key things I got is that in order to avoid cyberbullying, I need to make sure that I only link into websites I know are safe, and I only talk online to people that I know or people that are approved for me to talk to if I'm a student. That might be my initial ethical use statement. All right, you're going to use that in people-friendly language, in teacher-friendly language, and know that this is just your first draft. We'll be continuing to revise and grow this, but I want you to make an attempt. So don't feel like you need to come back and say, I don't know exactly how to write the ethical use statement. This is your ethical use statement. So how are you going to ethically use technology and encourage your students to use technology? I want you to give it a start based on what you've learned, and then we'll continue to revise and refine our comments as we go. The next section, you should be summarizing your learning from Chapter 1 in our textbook on assistive technology for students with autism. The keys to remember about that book is, while it specifically discusses students with autism, many students with intellectual disabilities, traumatic brain injuries, and multiple disabilities have very similar characteristics. So I want you to dive into Chapter 1 and think through, how can I use what I've learned in Chapter 1 to support students with disabilities? Throughout the semester, we'll be looking at great resources, and here I've started a list of some of my favorites. So I just want you to take a quick jump in and say, for example, at Kathy Schrock's website, she specializes in intellectual property and really helping us understand copyright. She also does a ton with apps in technology. So those are two places I go when I need to know more about those topics. So I want you to check those out and just see, what's the key learning here that might help me as I move through this semester and through teaching. I'd also recommend that you save these. If you'll remember from our last class, I showed you how to get onto your own Google Chrome site based on your email. You'll recognize the 9 colorful dots to get to the apps. And over here, you're going to see I have a bunch of folders. So if you click in an area that doesn't have anything printed and then hit your control button, you'll see that you can add a folder, and I'd recommend that you do that. Add a folder, and I've already done that. And I named my folder Tech Links. And in that Tech Links folder, you can add all of the resources I just showed you. And you're going to see that right here, I've got social media guides. Under language arts, I don't have anything yet. Under math, I've saved a site. I've got lots of trauma resources. And in order to save a resource, say, I'm going to skip over here and going to EKU's website. I was looking at faculty resources. Maybe that's something that's really important to you. Maybe I'll click on one that's a little bit more meaningful to you. Current students. Here's what I need to know. In order to save this into a folder, all you have to do is grab onto the toolbar. So click on the toolbar and it gives me the website, and you'll see I've got something, I got it here with the plus sign, and then you're just going to drag it into the folder and it will pop up under Tech Links. All right, so I'd recommend you save those. They're all super useful and helpful for later on. You're also going to be creating some accounts, and these are the top websites that myself and other EDF 204 instructors who are currently teaching in P-12 classrooms are saying, this is what we're using in our classrooms every year, multiple times a year. Some of these we're using every day, every week in our classrooms, and we want you to start accessing those and using them for your learning. So you're going to want to go into each of those. You're going to create teacher accounts for them and save that teacher account information so that we can use it throughout the semester. All right, heading back into the course content. After you finish your learning here and feel like you're caught up and ready, you'll take the Module 2 quiz. Your in-class participation activity, I'm going to base on what you've done in our class notes this week. So make sure that you're writing both on Tuesday and Thursday, you're filling out class notes. And then for your key assessment, we're going to open up this document here, and it is a very thorough template of what you're required to do for the key assessment. You'll notice in the directions that I say open this document, and then I tell you to save it using the name, your last name, SED 270 key assessment. All right, I'm going to go back. So here I am, and you're going to notice this is a really long document. It's already set up really fancy, and some of you are going to be like, where did she do this? This is the table of content information I told you about. And as long as you keep the formatting as it is, then you won't have to create this later. If you lose it, it's not a big deal. You can recreate it later, but this will save you time in the long run if you keep this template set up the way it is. And remember that if something magically disappears, click on that back arrow button and it'll put back what you've done. All right, so the first thing you need to do is go up to File, and for this one you are going to make a copy, and you're going to make a copy. Remember we said to change the name, so I'm going to take all this out, and I am going to call this Clark, because that's my last name, SED 270 Key Assessment. And you're going to need to keep it in your Google Drive. If you'll notice, mine is in the wrong folder, right? I'm going to go back here to my drive, and then I want to find the right folder for SED 270. Oh, but oh no, I don't have a folder for SED 270. Never fear. Right here in this plus button, click on the plus. And now I've got an untitled folder that I can call SED 270, and I can save all of my advanced organizers, my key assessment, all my assignments for SED 270 in this folder. Yes, create a folder. Select my folder, and now it's going to put my SED 270 key assessment, okay, in my folder for me. All right, so as you scroll down through this fantastically created document, notice that there's a ton of stuff that's going to go in here. A philosophy statement, a resume, an introduction letter. You're going to be putting in summaries, standards, examples, and this is a lot of pages. So what do you need to do to start with to turn in for your key assessment document? Let's go back and look. What do I need to do here? It says I need to set up my document, done, name it, done, upload the link into this document. You don't have to do anything else. Don't create, you can type whatever you'd like, but for this assignment, you don't have to do anything else to it. All you need to do is go up to this share link. Now, I'm going to get a shareable link. And it says anyone at EKU can view. That's what you want. You don't want me to go in and change your work. So can view, which is perfect. I do want you to change this one to can comment. And that way I'll be able to give you feedback and it'll pop up as comment bubbles. Super important. So change it to can comment. Then you're going to copy the link. It says link copy to clipboard. Yay! Done. Then you're going to go back into the assignments. Click here. And then I'm going to go into the assignments and say I want to, under comments, paste my link and then click submit. It won't let me submit because I'm an instructor and it'll say I don't have an account that matches. But you'll click on the submit button down here and you are done with that assignment. It is as simple as that. All right, if you got questions, go back and watch the video. Otherwise, ask questions about the course in our discussion board in our questions about grades, email directly to me. I hope you have a great week of learning.